Good morning, YouTube. Hi, I'm Mickey here. My channel is Ma's Homestead Goods. This is my first time doing a YouTube channel, so I hope you like what you see. This morning we're going to be doing homemade biscuits with some country gravy that I'll be doing later. But today we're just going to focus on the homemade biscuits. So let's get started, shall we? So first thing I do is I get some all-purpose flour, and I here on the homestead, I feed 7 people, so I have to be. You can reduce this down as much as you need to, but for here, it's going to be enough for 7 people. Okay. So first things first, I use quite a bit of flour. So I use about maybe, I don't know, half of this in flour. I know that seems like a lot, but if you've seen how many people I had to feed here in this household, you'd understand. I have one that we call Munchkin, the littlest one. He can eat his weight in food, so. Alright, so that's probably about, I don't know, 8 cups of flour. Alright, then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some baking soda. And I usually use, I use a regular spoon. Kind of eyeball it. But you can, for the people who have to measure, it's probably about maybe four tablespoons of baking soda. I just use 3 of these. Okay, and then I use 1 regular spoon of salt. So then I come over with this attachment, the little blending attachment on my KitchenAid. I love this thing. Lock it down. I go ahead and mix it up. Let all the ingredients incorporate together for about 30 seconds or so. Alright. And once that's done, take this attachment back off. And then secret ingredient, not really. So I take about a cup of Crisco. I use the butter flavored because it makes it taste so much better. Dump that in there. And you want to have your oven preheated 400 degrees. I have a convection oven, so I use the convection portion. But if you have just a regular oven, that also works well too. And we also have a pizza stone in our oven to help regulate the temperature, so I highly recommend getting one. They're awesome. So here in our homestead, like I said, we have 7 people. And it's the beginning homestead. So far we have cow, we don't have a cow yet. We have hogs, chickens, ducks, pretty good acreage when it comes to crops. So hoping this year we have like a major bumper crop. Thanks to Steader Bob's Super Soil Mix. And if you guys haven't seen Steader Bob and Big Family Homestead yet, I highly, highly recommend that you go to their channel and check them out. They have the Reliant Roadshow going on, and I mix this, incorporate it together, make sure it gets real kind of crumbly in the mix. But their channel is really phenomenal. They're doing great things, especially Steader Bob. Steader Bob he's started the Reliant Roadshow. It's a good thing that they're starting, helping homesteaders like me and those beginning homesteaders like you out there to get started on a homestead and start a homestead revolution, which in this day and age isn't a bad thing to get started. So now that we've got that incorporated, and I have my sausage frying on the stove, you probably hear it. I have it on low so it doesn't burn. So once that's good and incorporated, then I'm going to change my attachments to my dough attachment. 1 second, sorry. Thought I already had it. To my dough attachment, then I put this on. And who doesn't love buttermilk? Or you can use regular milk if you don't like buttermilk, but I prefer buttermilk. So I pour maybe about 2 cups in there to start with, because you want your dough kind of a little bit gooey, so when you go to knead it up, it kneads real nice. So you let that incorporate. And I'm going to be posting more videos on more things that I'll be making for you. I know the Big Family Homestead, a lot of their recipes are amazing. And actually, I would like to put in a plug for them. Their Big Family Homestead, you can get it online. It's real cheap. There's a bunch of good recipes in there, especially the Amish white bread. I highly suggest it. And you can download it and print it out yourself. That's what I did. Love it. Thanks, guys. A little bit more buttermilk in there so I can get it the consistency that I'm looking for. So next then you're going to flour your working surface just a little bit. I like stainless steel. This counter was actually homemade. My husband was very crafty. He made this counter for me. It was actually 2 drawers that somebody left on the side of the road. And we took it, we painted it, we sanded it down, painted it. He put it on top of a stand for me, brought it about hip height. And then we took regular sheet metal, went across it, and it's been working great. I love it. I wish my whole counters in my kitchen was like that. It will be soon. All right, so once you got it kind of a gooey, doughy kind of consistency, like I said, and you're going to get your flour, douse it real good, get your hands all floured, because you don't want the dough sticking to your hands. And then you just, with a floured hand, go in there and just scoop it out. Once you get it all scooped out, you don't want to leave any. My sons will be like, "Oh, you're wasting it, Mom." Alright, so. And thoroughly wash your hands before you do all this. Me here in the homestead, I do. I constantly wash my hands. I'm in the healthcare field in the military, so I have to stay sanitized constantly. So, then you just want to incorporate it under, knead it a little bit, not too much. You don't want to get it to where it's rubbery, but I just knead it just a little bit, fold it under, or fold it over, and then one more time, and then you want to fold it under, just like as if you were making bread dough, okay? And then pat it down. Me, I use a roller sometimes, not all the time, but when I'm trying to make biscuits, I kind of like them, well, around here we like thick, so I just pat them down about, I'd say about an inch thick. And then I go over here and I grab my little biscuit cutter. Now, I don't know where I got this thing, but I love it. So it was the top of some kind of cup at one time, and it has the air holes in it that I need and the perfect size for cutting biscuits, and it works for my hand really well because I have rheumatoid arthritis, so trying to grab things and hold them for, and push down is kind of difficult, but this makes it easy. So I just go down and look how perfect that is cut. All right. Now around here, we use cast iron. I love cast iron. I have a wall collection of cast iron. I can't cook without it. It's the best. Now I have some pans still, but these I prefer. So you go ahead and spritz your pan a little bit with some cooking spray. Put your biscuit down in there. Grab you another one. And you just keep doing this until you've used up all your dough. And if you have a little flour on the bottom of it, that's okay. It's not going to affect the flavor of the biscuits at all. And I've passed this recipe on to my daughter, and I improvise it a little bit here and there. I just love it. I've been doing this for a hot minute. Alright. So, take the rest of your dough that you have cut out, and just go ahead and knead it again. Just a little bit. You don't want to over knead it. And same thing. Squish it down until you got about an inch. Okay? And go back and cut some more. Keep doing that until you get all your biscuits cut up and in your pan. And then what I like to usually do around here is I make one big giant one from a 17-year-old. He is the breadhead in the family, and he just loves it. Alright, so once you've got all your biscuits cut out and in the pan, and it's going to look something like this. Nice and purry. Then you're going to go to and grab your butter. Grab you a spoon or whatever you want to use. Me, I usually use just a regular old chili spreading knife. Add a little bit of butter on top of each biscuit before it's even cooked. Alright, so we got every single one of them. Now you're going to take your biscuits, you're going to put them in your oven at 400 degrees for about 15 minutes. So while that's doing that, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to start finishing up my sausage to get ready for my gravy. Alright. So what I usually do for my sausage is I go ahead and just fry my sausage up as normal into little crumbles. Very nice. So I just put the whole log in there and then let it cook down. And as it's cooking down, then I get started on my gravy mixture. Cook down some more. Alright, so now I'll set this aside so I can get started on my gravy mixture. And of course, clean up a little bit. And I just use my little biscuit cutter and scrape up all this extra flour. Since it's plastic, it will destroy my... Yeah, that's my dollars. So it will destroy my counter. Which metal counter, it can take a lick and keep on ticking. I tell you what, I love it. Love, love, love it. And we never let anything go to waste here. What we don't eat goes to the hogs. Because eventually the hog's going to be food. We got one named Bonnie and one named Clyde. And you're probably thinking, well, why'd you name them Bonnie and Clyde? Well, one bright day, one of them decided to escape. So ever since then, when we caught them and got them back after they eluded us a couple times, we was like, you know what? And there's a perfect name for them, Bonnie and Clyde. Because originally they were bacon and sausage. So once you've cleaned off your area, of course, I use 2 rags, one wet, one dry. So now you're going to take your, and I just use a regular bowl. Now I'm going to start my gravy mixture, okay? So once again, I go to the all-purpose flour. Like I said, I feed 7 around here, so I use about 2.5 cups of flour. Sorry, that was my daughter. About 2.5 cups of flour. And I use about 2 tablespoons of salt. Well, yeah, it's about 2 tablespoons. And it's not a lot. You think it's a lot, but it's not. And then we gotta put some pepper in there. And I love these things. I got these things from the Dollar Tree, and they work great for spices. So about 2 tablespoons of black pepper. And you can tweak this however you want. We'll just go ahead and mix it together. Real good. And then the next key is you put your about however much gravy you want in there and cold water. And I mix that together with a whisk. Let me grab cold water. Get that started. And we'll go back and check and see how our sausage is doing. Oh, yeah. Oh, great. And I get it all nice and crumbly. So I'm going to add it to the gravy mixture. And by the time the gravy's done, then the biscuits will be done. While we're waiting on that, we'll get back to the gravy. Alright, so I'm going to fill this up with water real quick. Right. Now I'll probably put about 3 quarts of gravy in, water in there to make the gravy. So now you're just going to take your whisk and go and incorporate all those spices and everything together in with the cold water. And the reason you want cold water in there instead of hot water, and I mix it prior to in a bowl before I put it on the stove, it's just, for me, it seems like it thickens up better and it incorporates a whole lot better. Now here we like a little bit of spice in our biscuits and gravy, so I usually get paprika. Those biscuits coming up nice. So same thing, I only use like maybe half of this, like a half of a spoonful in here, because I just want a little kick, not a lot. And it seems to make it just taste yummy. Then next up, you're going to want to I put some buttermilk in there. I usually put about, sorry guys, I'm still working on these YouTube channel things, on how to get everything set up correctly, so bear with me. Alright, so I usually do about 2 cups of buttermilk to thicken it up, make it nice and creamy. Kind of reminds me of the old McDonald's style gravy that you used to get. So now, while this is incorporating, just give it a whisk. And go back and check on our sauce. Well, our sauce is almost there. And I put the sausage in right before the gravy is done cooking. That way, it gives you more flavor, I think. You can do it however you like. But for me, I put it in there almost next to last. So while this is cooking up, and I do a lot more, I'll be doing a lot more videos of soap making, laundry soap making, jellies, jams, whatever you guys would want to see. I can try to get put on here from my perspective and how I've been doing it. Each recipe is really good as far as ones I've tried on YouTube, but hey, tweak it and make it your own. If you like it, then go with it. One thing I say around here, nothing to it but to do it, right? So it all depends on you. So we started homesteading here about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. And we started out small. We started with chickens, and then we worked our way up to hogs and then to ducks. And we hope soon to be getting some goats, maybe a cow. And on one of the videos that I'll be posting, I'll actually take you around our little homestead. Well, it's little right now, but we plan on expanding. It's about 22 acres, which we got really lucky and blessed. God blessed us with 22 acres, so. Alright, so now I gotta find a pot big enough to put all this. So, like I said, around here, I feed them literally. I mean literally. So, I'm going to get this on the stove. Get this started up. Go ahead and put all this yummy gravy on the stove top in the bowl. Oh. Looks like I gotta retrain my children on the dishwasher. They didn't wipe it out after it came out of the dishwasher. Alright, so get this poured in here. And scrape all that yummy goody seasoning out of there. I hope you guys can hear my audio very good, but because like I said, still first timer here. Let me get this started on. And I started on high, and then I turn it down to low. And you just keep watching it, keep stirring it, and make sure it doesn't burn in the bottom. So I kind of multitask. I do all three things at once. All right, our sausage is almost done over here. Yay. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Got about 3 minutes left on the biscuits, and they are looking fabulous. This is, I mean, it seems like a lot, but it's really quick and easy once you get used to doing it a lot. And like I said, I do this quite often. Because I have no choice. Now, this thing here is a good invention. I can't remember what you call it, but I use it to kind of cut up my sausage, break it down even more, and it works really well. So if any of you guys know what it is, just leave a comment down below and let me know what the heck you call this thing. But I've been using it for quite a while. I like it. This one's getting worn out, so I gotta try to find another one. I've used it so much. But it really breaks down sausage into crumbles. So, which is kind of what you want in a sausage and gravy when you put real sausage in your gravy. Oh yeah, it's starting to thicken up now. Ooh. Just kind of stir it liberally. Just to keep, you don't want it to scald on the bottom, especially when you start it out on high heat. And that's 15 more seconds on the biscuits. The sausage is almost done. So now it's just a matter of waiting for the gravy to thicken up, and then we'll be in business. All right. Let's look at those biscuits, shall we? All right. So, because there's wood underneath here, I actually use one of these little hot pan things. I don't want my cast iron to mess up the wood underneath. I don't want to burn my fingers, so I'm going to use my handy dandy gloves here. The heat gloves, I like them. They work well. All right. Now, would you look at that? And I haven't got one of the fancy cameras yet, but, however, look at those beautiful biscuits. And we'll let them cool for a second, real quick, while we continue with our, we can cut that oven off. We're done with that. And so you're going to just keep continuing to stir the gravy and let it get thickened up as much as you like, whether you like yours real thick or you like it like a medium thick, or if you like it thin. It's totally up to you. Okay? And my sausage is done. So your sausage, you want your sausage to be kind of crumbly. I don't know if you guys can see that. See how nice and crumbly that turned out? That's what you want. So you're going to drain the fat off of that, and then you can either keep the fat or get rid of the fat. Sorry. Can't live without coffee. Drain off the fat, And then you're going to take your fat, and once you get your gravy to the consistency that you like, pour the pour the gravy in there, the sausage in there, sorry, and then mix it up real good. And there you have it, folks. Homemade biscuits and gravy, quick, easy, and it doesn't cost a lot, especially when you do it at home. And when you're on a budget with 7 people in the household, you kind of need it.